The 49ers apparently will continue to wait to get their next franchise quarterback, assuming that they have one now. John Lynch, general manager of the San Francisco 49ers and one of the new Hall of Famers, had this to say on the Eye Test podcast regarding Jimmy Garoppolo.
If he's injury-free, is there any doubt in your mind that Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback when you line up in September?
No, not at all. I mean, I really believe that he, I just look at the numbers. I mean, he's 24-9, 25-9 when he's played. The being available is a big part of this thing. So like I said, we probably as a stated goal, we have to insulate ourselves better, and we got to have better options if he's not there. But, I've watched people go through this in the career where they struggle. It happened to me early, and then I went 8 years without missing a practice. So I believe that things can happen. I believe they will for him. And I really believe that Jimmy is our guy.
Sorry, but I choose not to believe that. And we've been lied to time and again strategically by general managers and coaches. And then when we're lied to, we never go back and say, gee, look at that. There's a lie. There's a lie. There's a lie. We just kind of accept it and we move on. And I'm not saying that this is a sin or anything or it's wrong by John Lynch. It's what he has to say. He has to say it because until they get a better bird in the hand, they're going to hang on to Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's a chance that they're not going to get a better bird in the hand, that they're not going to be able to trade for a Sam Darnold, that whatever other plan they come up with as they're currently in the process of evaluating their options may not be enough to say we're moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo and going with this other guy instead. But do you really think anyone is going to pull out that podcast appearance and bash John Lynch over the head with it if they cut Jimmy Garoppolo? No. So I just choose not to believe it, Charean. I mean, hell, we're at a time now where we can choose to believe our own facts, although I don't recommend that. I do choose to believe my own things about whether or not we're being told the truth on strategic moves made by NFL teams. And there's no reason for John Lynch to go on that podcast or anywhere else and say, you know what, we'd really like to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo if we can find someone better.
Yeah, no question about it, Mike. They are going to address the quarterback position, whether that's an upgrade on Jimmy Garoppolo if they get that opportunity. Say Deshaun Watson suddenly is on the market. I mean, why wouldn't the 49ers call and get Deshaun Watson? Nobody's bringing the podcast back to say, oh, my gosh, you said Jimmy G was your quarterback, but you ended up with Deshaun Watson. Imagine that. No, but however they address it, and maybe it is the backup position ultimately. Maybe Jimmy G does start another season for the 49ers. They've got to do something at the backup position if they're bringing him back, whatever that means. And, C.J. Beathard is an unrestricted free agent. I get the feeling they don't want him anyway. Probably bring back Nick Mullins, who's a restricted free agent.
Oh,
but
God,
you gotta find somebody better behind Jimmy G.
Yeah. I wouldn't bring back either of them. Sorry. Hey, yeah. Look, congratulations. You made it to the NFL. You got to play at the NFL level. But the 49ers are not in good hands with Nick Mullins or C.J. Beathard. It's time to move on. It's that simple. It is a performance-driven business, and those two have not performed nearly well enough to be the insurance policies behind Jimmy Garoppolo. And the other side of this, too, is maybe the 49ers are more than happy to have Jimmy Garoppolo come back at a salary of $15 million, not $25 million. Who's going to pay this guy $25 million? If he was cut right now and available to anyone who would want to sign him, I guarantee you no one's paying him $25 million this year. Now, he may do a long-term contract that pays out $25 million in cash as part of a signing bonus. That's different than getting $25 million in dollars and cap dollars this year. That isn't happening if he's available on the open market, and that's why I think they're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him because they're not going to find somebody to take on that contract. So if no one else would take on that contract, why in the hell would the 49ers do it? And again, they are stuck with him until they find someone better. And in the event they don't, they gain nothing by going public in February saying, good God, could we find anybody better than this guy who can't stay healthy? And that's a huge factor for a quarterback. It's one thing for a safety who is throwing his body around at everything that moves to have injury issues. It's another thing for a quarterback who is the beneficiary of the most protection for anyone on the field except a punter or a kicker after they kick the ball. Short of applying the roughing the kicker rules to quarterbacks and you can't touch them after they throw the pass, they are in bubble wrap. If you can't stay healthy as a quarterback, you can't be entrusted with that title of franchise quarterback. And people are like, why do you hate Jimmy Garoppolo? Look, let's be realistic. Hey, 49ers fans, if you want to continue to not win a Super Bowl, if you want to continue to say, well, who's the backup going to be this week? Who's going to be playing the game instead of Jimmy Garoppolo? Have at it. Have fun with it. Enjoy, because that's the future that you're buying for yourself if you don't learn from the past.
Yeah, I was going to touch on this, Mike. John Lynch kind of sort of addressed it, but availability is huge, especially for a quarterback. And this guy has missed 23 games of the last 3 seasons, and that included the 16 games that he played in 2019. So in 2018 and 2020, he couldn't stay healthy. And you have to have your quarterback on the field to have a chance. I don't care how well your quarterback plays when he's healthy. If he's only out there for 6 games like he was in 2020, you have no chance. You have to have your starting quarterback. And it's pretty much like this for any team. If you don't have your starting quarterback, you don't have much of a chance to win. Now, we've seen Nick Foles do it in spurts. Come on, win a Super Bowl, guys like that. We've seen it a little bit. But for the most part, if you don't have your starting quarterback, you don't have a chance. And that's the way it's been for the 49ers. This is a guy who's never made a Pro Bowl. It's not like they're getting rid of some guy that's been in the Pro Bowl 10 times or 8 times or even 1 time. He hasn't been. So they need him to stay on the field and see what they have in him if he truly is going to be their starter in 2021. But I do think if someone better available comes on the market, say a Deshaun Watson, I do see the 49ers at least making that phone call and say, what would it take to get this guy? Because he would be an upgrade at this position.
And I think the bar is lower than Deshaun Watson as to what it would take to get the 49ers attention. I think that there's a big gap between Watson and Garoppolo, and it doesn't take much to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And folks, I know you can be upset with me if you want. Look, I'm going to give it to you the way that I see it. If you want raw, fake praise for players and teams, there's other networks out there you can watch. We're going to tell you what we believe here, not what you want to hear. And 49ers fans need to hear that Jimmy Garoppolo is not Joe Montana. He's not Steve Young. He's not Colin Kaepernick at his best. He's not Jeff Garcia at his best. He was right place, right time, stayed healthy for all of 2019. I mean, look back to the 2019 playoffs. He freaked out Kyle Shanahan by throwing 3 balls that should have been picked off by Eric Kendricks of the Vikings. Kendricks picked off one of them. After the third one that was almost picked off, that's when Shanahan turned Jimmy Garoppolo into Bob Greasy and didn't let him throw the ball for the entire NFC Championship game. He had what 6 passes, 8 passes, something ridiculous like that. So, hey, 49ers fans, I'm trying to hold your team's feet to the fire to give you a better overall organization. And it's a shame at a time when, you know, the cupboard's otherwise full, that at the quarterback position, it's not nearly good enough. And newsflash, it's not nearly good enough. It is more than good enough for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And 49ers fans, I know last year the 49ers considered Tom Brady. He wanted to come home to Northern California, and you said no. You said, we'll stick with Jimmy. Oh, boy.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.